Good morning, YouTube viewers and subscribers. On my bench today I've got, well, the upright from my PSP stand, which as you can see is what I would consider aluminum Swiss cheese from all the different engines I've mounted to it. And then just this nice piece of, looks like birch plywood. Why I've got these here is because I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to mount this next engine that was sent to me, because it needs to be put on one of these, and I don't think I'm going to bother putting it on this now. I think I'm going to go on a piece of wood, and it's going to take a little bit of fabricating, but that's okay. So this next engine is an engine that was given to me as a loaner to run and add to my channel, and it's one that the haters of me and my channel are really going to roll their eyes at. But it was given to me, or loaned to me, by a very good man and friend of mine, John, who's contributed significantly to my channel and to my personal engine collection. And this engine is a Ross 60 Twin. So I just took this out of the box, John. It arrived a couple days ago, but I needed to clean my bench off a little bit before I open this thing up. John told me that this is the 1976 version, or at least the same version that was in the review on the model engine test site, which I'll provide a link to on this video. It's the same version as the review that was made in 1976. I believe it came like this. I don't really know too much about this engine. Obviously these are stock exhausts, and I don't know if it came with the engine mount or not, but as you can see, mounting is going to be a little tough because, you know, I don't want to have to disassemble this whole thing. But John, you were saying that your carb was stuck, but in reality it wasn't. It looked like this nut came loose, and I just kind of swing the arm up, or the arm was kind of dangling here, so I just brought it up and tightened it up so I could get a better angle on it, and it rotates freely. So this thing looks like it's good to go. All I've got to do is, it's got what I would consider good compression for, I guess, a 60 size two-stroke twin. So all I've got to do is get it mounted in my stand and do some runs with this thing and add this to my database. So John, I thank you very much for trusting me with this collector's item, because even in the review, I can't remember if it was Peter Chin that did it or not, but this 1976 review, even in that review of this engine, they were saying that this has got more collector value than it does value on being put on an airplane. And that's something to be said about an engine back then. So it's even more so now, the collector value. So I'm honored to be able to share this engine with the world, and hopefully I'll get this on the stand here very soon, and we'll get some runs done with this beautiful Ross 60 Twin made in the USA. Okay, I know I just ended the, well, not just, but a little while ago I ended the quick look video of this Ross 60 Twin. I've since got it mounted to a board, and I drilled some holes so I could drill it straight into my wood stand, and it seems like it'll be sturdy enough for maybe a run. But I want to talk about some things here that might actually make it impossible for me to run this engine, and it has to do with the complete and utter stupidity in the design of this engine. So if any of the Ross people that designed this are still alive and happen to watch this, you're idiots. So first of all, the crankshaft is so incredibly short that I had to find the thinnest prop possible to even attempt to mount it, and that just so happens to be this Graupner 11.6. I wanted to run a 12.6, but I didn't have any 12.6 props that had a thin enough hub they would even come close to having this thin nut on there. And this isn't even the stock washer. I found a thinner washer. So that's idiotic design number one. Second idiotic part of the design is that this prop drive is held on with a set screw. I don't know, it's so dark. It has this set screw which sits in a flat on the crankshaft. Well, as soon as I started putting this prop on, I started snugging it up enough, I couldn't even rotate the prop through anymore. Why? Because this single set screw holding this in just moves back until it contacts the front of the crankcase, making it bind heavily what I ended up having to do just to get it to this point was loosen that prop drive, pull it out as far as I could, and just start slowly turning the nut here and watching this walk its way back. So I don't even know how tight this nut is. I mean, it's tight enough that I can't unscrew it by hand, but I dare not tighten it anymore because it's going to keep walking this thing back. I put some brass shims in there, and of course I was thinking, well, that'll help keep it shimmed up. Yeah, well, except that I couldn't get the damn brass shims out and it was bound up. So I don't know. This is just a really, really poor design. So I'm going to make one attempt to run this engine, and if for some strange reason it kicks back or anything at all and this all comes off, you're going to lose this nut, John, for sure. That'll be gone. My thin washer will be gone. Don't really care about that. But I mean, this is just an incredibly stupid design, which is probably why people weren't flying these, because you can't mount a damn prop on it, at least a modern prop that will allow any prop, really. Even if you had one that was thinner, you start tightening it up and it pushes the prop hub back and binds against the crankcase. So I mean, that's just such a freaking ridiculous design, it's not even funny. But anyway, I'm gonna give this thing a shot and see what happens. But I just wanted to add this to the quick look video because this is retarded.